Hi there, bag makers. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I am with Sew Yours. It has been quite a while since I've released acrylic template for bag making, but I'm happy to announce that we now have our Tote Pal Acrylic Template set available for purchase on our website at sewyours.com, or also available here in our store in Dunellen, Florida. I designed this template last year, and I think I've even had the finished product in my store since like January or February of this year. But with the opening of our Dunellen store, that got put to the back burner because I was just so busy with everything else. So we've got the template available in two different colors. We've got the clear with the white text. This is going to be great for people who have older eyes. It might be hard to see the text with the glitter. This is also going to be great against dark fabrics because that white text just pops against any darker colors. Then we've got the turquoise glitter with the black text, which is very popular amongst all of our other acrylic templates that we do sell. So we brought it in that color. So you can get either one. This does come as a set, so you'll get both of these pieces. Let me show you the bag that I did design with the inspiration in mind for the Tote Pal. Please meet the Laura Jean. So I've released this pattern today. You can make this bag and purchase this pattern and just use the paper version of the template that is included in the sewing pattern, or you can purchase the acrylic template. Now, I personally am an acrylic template type of girl when it comes to overlays and strap anchors, so that is why I would be purchasing the template. The pattern, like I said, includes the paper version, but we also include SVG and projector files. So if you like to use a scan and cut or a Cricut machine to cut out your overlays, then by all means, just purchase the pattern and you'll get those files as well. So here we've got the main feature of the Tote Pal. This is a zipper overlay that allows you to connect rectangle rings and then your shoulder straps. Also has room here that you can put your bag tag if you'd like. You can do this on the front exterior of the bag as well as the back exterior of the bag. However, if you want to omit the zipper overlay on the back, you can then use our strap anchors. So on the screen, I'm going to show you some examples of bags that our pattern testers made using the strap anchors on the back exterior. So that's an option for you. In the video today, I will quickly show you how I cut out the acrylic templates using the Tote Pal. But if you want to see in depth how to actually sew up a Tote Pal, then you want to watch our Laura Jean sewing pattern as I go through all of the steps to attach the Tote Pal to our Laura Jean bag. So you don't need to use the Tote Pal on the Laura Jean. It can be used on any bag, assuming that it's got enough width to it and enough height to it. So I will put on the screen here the measurements of this bag. I did do a modified Laura Jean that was 2 inches wider, 2 inches taller. Instead of having the slight gentle curve around the top, I ended up cutting that straight across. I also omitted the zipper panel in there and did some magnetic straps instead. So just wanted to be able to show you that you can also use the Tote Pal on any bag. It's really going to take it to the next level and dress up that handbag. Here are two more examples of the Laura Jean using the Tote Pal acrylic template. Again, I like to use the overlay on the front and the back exterior, so that is why my examples here have it on both. I will show you the initial prototype for this bag, which I created last year, and this has been the bag that I've been carrying around. It is a little different. We don't have the accent fabric along the bottom side. And for this one, when I was first making the bag, I did go ahead and use some strap anchors that we do sell on our website in a set of 5 to create the strap anchor right here. I later on modified this piece to create a brand new strap anchor that is not included in our strap anchor set. So this is a more rounded version of a strap anchor here. So this is a slight example of what you would get if you're not doing the overlay on the front and the back exterior. So it'll be a little bit more plain. I have all my supplies laid out: double-sided tape, pen, a pair of sharp scissors, or your rotary cutter. I've got 4 pieces of Decava Light that is cut to 3/4 inches wide by 3 3/4 inches long. And this is going to be put behind where the D-rings are going to be to give it some extra stability. You'll need your templates, whether you are doing 2 overlays on the front and then on the back, or if you are going to do an overlay on the front and then your strap anchors on the back, then you'll need this one as well. Now here on my right, I just wanted to show you the templates already cut out. All right, let's get started. So let me set all of these aside for the moment. Now I'm going to walk you through the steps to cut out this one. It's the same exact process to do the smaller strap anchor. So for here, I'm going to lay this out on my fabric. And if you are working with a fabric that has a subtle one-way stretch, you may want to also cut out some woven interfacing to put on the wrong side of your fabric. And I do like to cut my woven interfacing just a little bit smaller than the pattern piece or the template itself. That way the woven interfacing isn't peeking out around the edges, since it is a raw edge here. So make sure that you do that if you have a one-way stretch to your fabric. The Savannah Suede has just the smallest amount of one-way stretch, but I find that it sews beautifully without the need of the woven interfacing, so I won't be using that. So I'm grabbing a pen, and I'm just going to position this on my fabric and securely hold this down as I trace it. Okay, I've got my first one cut out. Now, if my fabric's non-directional and it doesn't really matter, then I usually, to save fabric, I will flip it if I'm doing two of the overlays, and I will place it just like this to save on fabric, and do my second one. Now the holes are on the template here, and I will be transferring those over to the right side of the fabric later on when we are making the bag. So make sure you check out the Laura Jean sewing tutorial if you want to see all the steps in order to make your overlay. I'm only going to show you here in today's video how to trace and cut out the overlay or the templates here that I have today. So once I've done that, now I can go in and do the next one. I'm not going to be using this one, so it's the same process. I like to just roughly cut out so I don't have to worry about working with this whole roll right here, and cut that away. And then I'm going to just roughly cut between the two here. That just makes it easier for me. There we go. So now I've got one to work with. Now this is the way that I found it's the easiest to cut. I like to use my rotary cutter, but if you have a pair of sharp scissors and you prefer to do that, then be my guest. I, in the beginning, did use my scissors to cut around my overlay, but now I find that I like the rotary cutter much better. So I'm just going to come in at one side, and I actually tend to rotate the fabric. So I'm rotating the fabric as I am cutting along, and I also will use my wrist here with the rotary cutter when needed to cut around here, but I'm rotating this fabric. And I try to do this all in one swoop, but sometimes I just can't do it, and I might be getting out of frame right now, so I'm going to bring this back so you can see what I'm doing. So I just went off the edge, and now I'm going to come back in and cut on my line. Just like that. You could use your straight edge if you want to get these really straight in combination with doing this freehand. I think I'm getting out of frame, so that's why I pulled it back towards me. So you can see I'm using this hand to move the fabric around. I'm trying to keep this as seamless as possible. I don't want a bunch of cuts like where I'm coming in and I'm starting again and I'm starting again and making it choppy. I don't want to do that. All right, so that looks pretty good. I do see that my line's pretty thick here. I'm going to flip this over, and I do see that I need to trim that down just a hair more. So I'm going to come right back in and get on that line a little better. But a lot of this is just going to be folded over, and you're not even going to see it anyways. So now we just need to cut out the center. So I am going to get my grid ruler, and I lay it down here. And I use my rotary cutter against this, and I'm not going right to the edge because I don't want to overcut. I'll use my scissors to get real close there. And then we'll do the second one. All right, so here's where I'm at. This is how close I got to my edges. That one I actually went right up to the line, but I didn't overcut. And then I come in with my sharp scissors to finish off. So here is the template that I cut out by hand, and this is the one that the Cricut machine did. And you can see that they are so close. There's not too much of a difference. There's a little bit more waviness and imperfections in this one because it was done by hand. But either one is perfectly fine. So the template's great for people who love to work with acrylic templates. We've got the paper format if you're fine working with just the paper pattern piece. Or in the Laura Jean pattern, you'll also get those SVG files. So whatever you like working with. And you can do your strap anchors just the same that I've got right here. Once you've got your templates all cut out, then grab your Decaville and center them behind the portion that the D-ring is going to slide over, or I should say the rectangle ring, and do that for all of the pieces right here. Iron those on. Once you've ironed those on, which I'm not going to do right now because we are going to be doing this in the Laura Jean sewing pattern, so you can watch all of the details on how to do this step by step in that video. I'll put a link in the description box below. So this is just a quick overview. That way you can see if this acrylic template is something that you're going to be interested in purchasing. So I'm going to grab my template again, and I lay it on top of my fabric, right side up, and I will use an air erasable pen. So I like to use my Sew Line pen. And I will then come in and transfer the markings for the rivets. So all four holes on each side right here. You can also transfer your bag tag placement marking there now if you'd like to do that. And then you would cut out your holes. Once you do that, you'll slide your D-rings on. I keep calling them D-rings. Your rectangle rings on. And you are going to need double-sided tape in order to secure everything into place. Watch the Laura Jean video on how I do that. And then you're going to grab your exterior pattern piece, whatever you're working on. This is the Laura Jean pattern piece that we're going to be using in the video tutorial. So I'm just going to briefly show you. You're going to place that. Now, the Laura Jean sewing pattern has the exact placement for the overlays. So you don't have to do the guesswork on how far do I put it up or how low do I put it up. So that's why getting that Laura Jean pattern at $3 off for the first 48 hours after it releases is great, or obviously full price after the 48 hours, because then we help you in knowing exactly where to place your overlay. And that basically, that pattern piece can be then transferred to whatever you're working on, whether it is a much larger bag. So that is there for you. So that's just a quick overview on the overlay. Now you would just proceed once you've got it all secured with double-sided tape, and you would go around and you'd sew, and you'd insert your pocket just like you do with any zipper overlay. So if you're interested in purchasing the template, feel free to go ahead and do that. I'll put a link in the description box below. Like I said, the Laura Jean sewing pattern will be $3 off when you purchase this acrylic template for the first 48 hours after the Laura Jean is released. Then the pattern goes back to full price, which is $9.95. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching.